All right, how's everybody doing? And there's going to be a lot in this. The reason why I didn't put out some content for days and days, and then got up there and didn't really know what to do. I'd been putting everything on Facebook. Sometimes the satanic world calls it a muse, but usually we have a thought in our head, a person, a group that we're an audience that we're speaking to. And my thoughts just turned to, Facebook, which is more of the world because it's more of the people that are my personal friends and so forth, what you would call more of the world. And of course, but I get a lot of feedback on Facebook also. So it was just a lot of stuff out there. And I like to see who responds back. And it's usually, the same group of people, which is fine, and you don't want to lose folks. But after waiting days, I noticed I got a lot of comments on two, and there was actually a lot of 137, 132, 120. I don't usually get that. Of course, that was 190, 170. I think I put those on my Facebook too. But usually I'm around the 50, 60, 70 range. What's up with 88 and 88 views? But there's 136. But again, it might have been something I put on my Facebook. I didn't put these on my Facebook. But we've got the tiger and the heart. The heart's all over iPad Goat and the tiger on the little girl's back, which really seems to be screaming that, it's the year of the tiger. And it's on that 13th, 14th. Now, the 15th, which is the end of Lupercalia, it's a 3-day festival. EntertheStars even, said 13th, 14th, 15th. That's on a Tuesday. The 16th is the snow full moon next year. So over this year, we have all, and I've watched a Winter to Remember videos today. We Seek and We Find videos today. And I've got a lot of stuff prepped up to show y'all. I've gone over a lot of videos in the past, 5 days and tried to round them up for you too. So this is going to be one of those long videos, and I'm probably not going to put a table of contents because I'm going to want you to watch it all. And so let's just get started. Now, We Seek and We Find turned me on to this lady. And when I looked at that, do you see the hole over there? And the item below there, it's almost like an eye, and a mouth. But what does that look like to y'all? Anybody? Sure, that looks like sunglasses with a wingtip, but to me, I saw the Batman logo. Y'all see what I'm saying? So I just wonder if they had it all, situated to blow out the way it blew out. And 9/11's, it's still an enigma. So let's start going through some things. I forgot to bring up my one friend, Call on Jesus to Save You. He said, hey, there is a bat band called Queen's Reich, and their logo has bats. So hang on just a second. Queen's Reich. So that would be something interesting to gematria. If anybody wants to gematria up Queen's Reich, I'll try to remember to do that. Try to remember to get to that. If nobody else wants to do that. But yeah, and again, it's the Queen of Heaven, Queen of the Universe, R-Y-C-H-E. The spelling of Queen's Reich, which was modified to prevent association of a band with Nazism, Drumpf, Germany. That old joke. What's that old joke? Well, since we're swinging for the fence tonight with a long video, and this will probably be the only video I do this week, Unless something big pops up. That's why it'll be long, so to give you time to watch the whole thing. But this was the final Letterman show. And boy, it doesn't get too much more Illuminati than Letterman. Trump appeared on his show many, many times. But of course, Letterman went far left, you know, as Trump went right. But of course, that's the whole divide and conquer paradigm. But this guy, Norm Macdonald, threw out more hands. This will be in the top comment. You know, this will be the one at the top. I'll put every video used today in the comments. But Norm Macdonald threw every single hand signal out numerous times during this. But then he gets to Germany, which, remember, World War I and World War II. And it's a little joke about how they want to take over the world. What are they? Mars? You know, you don't get to be a country no more. You've tried to take over the world twice. Not to ruin the joke, but this is all about Trump. It's the final Letterman show, so there's a little more to it than. And if you don't know Norm Macdonald,
there is one country that worries me, though. Not Iraq.
So that's what he sounds like. Y'all all know Norm, right? Every time I watch this, I just, well, the first few times I watched, I had tears rolling out of my eyes. It was so funny. I mean, this is one of the funniest stand-up routines I'd ever seen. But was it written by the Ghost in the Machine? In my opinion, everything is. But you never know.
Not Iran, not North Korea. The only country that really worries me is the country of Germany.
Watch his hands.
I don't know if you guys are history buffs or not, but in the early part of the previous century, Germany decided to go to war. And who did they go to war with? The world. It had never been tried before. And so you figure that would take about 5 seconds for the world to win, but no, it was actually close. Then about 30 years pass, and Germany decides again to go to war, and again it chooses as its enemy the world. And this time they have that guy, that guy. I'm not even going to dignify him by saying his name, but I think you know what I'm talking.
Look at every hand signal. Everyone on.
But you think at that point the world will go, listen, Germany, here's the deal. You don't got to be a country no more on account of you keep attacking the world. And what are you, Mars or something?
Mars, war, the god of war. The month of March, named after Mars, war. And this April 2nd, by the way, No Time to Die. That's 4-2, which is in the middle of the 24-24, the Strong's Concordance for Christ. I think everything is about next year, the year of the tiger. And I think everything that we're seeing now, We Seek and We Find is throwing out a lot of stuff about 519. So we'll be on the lookout for 519 this year for something to go down. And so more importantly, in 1984 album entitled Warning has hit their Hold the Flame. By the way, Queensryche. So let's get back to that. Okay, that's what I wanted to get back to because it reminded me of German word. So it means realm. So it's Queen's realm. Well, the Queen of Heaven, Queen of the universe, is Lucifer. So it's Lucifer's realm. And of course, it has a Batman logo. So I'm glad the Lord helped me remember to get back on point. And but that was an interesting share. Their album Operation Mindcrime and other things. So anyway, appreciate your comment there. Call on Jesus to save you. That was quite a long time ago. And I forgot to share this with y'all. So now this one here says Mars. I got laughing all over it. There's no time. Let me prep it for you. Hang on. Oh, that was the Eric Dubé video. And I put that in the comments for y'all. And of a previous video about how Mars and all of that it's nothing more than Devon Island. It's pretty much the same terrain. And so that's in the comments. If you want it, just ask. I'll put it in the comments. If you want me to re-enlist that video or relist that video, you know, I'll put it in the comments if you ask. Your comment. Like you go, I need that video about Mars. I'll hit reply and give you the link. My good friend Justin said, I am convinced they are suppressing your videos. I don't know if I already showed, I don't think I already showed y'all this. These were all unhighlighted emails. But maybe I read it when I was reading through comments. But our Lord is in charge of the ghost in the machine. There's not one person that watches my videos that the Lord didn't want to watch my videos, or vice versa. So the Lord's in charge of all of that. We're not going to worry. Again, I would do these videos to air to nobody, with the assumption that maybe one day a person would subscribe and watch them all. So that's the same way I look at my Bible studies. So anybody that comes on, anybody that comments, anybody that's a subscriber, until they get rude or hateful, I'm always under the assumption they're meant to be here and I'm glad they're here. Or you're meant to be here and I'm glad you're here. Star, is that a star up there? Well, we know what it's all about. You know, it's the Libertas, and I forget what all those, it's 7, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, can't remember, 6, 7, I'm not sure. But Star Child, Star Child, Star Child, Star Child. This is from iPet Goat. Star Child, Star Child, right? Star Child, 2001 Space Odyssey. What do you think? 2001 was what? When all that haste makes waste went down? Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Movie, how costumes and props. Did y'all see the head opened up? I just now noticed. I didn't even know that. Look at that. The top of the head is opened up, just like our egghead boy. Just like our egghead boy. Are you kidding me? Hang on. The top of his head is opened up, just like our egghead boy in iPet Goat. Are you kidding me? 2001 A Space Odyssey came out in 1970 something. So somebody convinced me that the Ghost in the Machine isn't writing everything that takes place in Hollywood, the music industry, everything. And they'll come on Howard Stern or Access. Yeah, well, when we wrote this song, this is what we were thinking. Actors. Look at that. The top of his head opens up. Well, isn't that something? Well, isn't that special? The Star Child, 2001 A Space Odyssey. Isn't that something? Even got him inside the egg sphere. Whew. Boy, we're off to a rocking start today, aren't we? So which one of these images isn't popping through? Hang on, and I'll try to get things fixed for us. Try it one more time while I got you on the air. All right, hang on. It won't come up. And it's sent at 3:39 on Friday at 3:40. I'm not even going to read that. Let y'all read it, because it's got that in it. This was somebody's comment though, so not really sure why it didn't. Somebody flashed this to me, and I think I know who they got it from. By the way, KAH621, if you're watching, even though you wouldn't tell anybody you're watching, do you now still believe in the new technology that Trump signed into action now that the so-called Dems are in charge of the world? Are you still confident that the new technology that begins with the number FIVE and ends with a letter that begins with God, which by the way, in reverse, G500 is Strong's Concordance number for Antichrist, and the Daytona 500, Trump rode the beast around the Daytona 500 track. So 500 is the number for Antichrist, and they called the limo the beast right there on the telecast. So now they're throwing that out there to make you think that's what it's for. And of course, it really is about 666. Joe Biden is nothing more than Robin. He is doing the Antichrist dirty work. So here were some videos I wanted to go over with y'all that were very interesting. Let's prep them. We seek and we find. Put this up there. They don't really come on here anymore, but they're really big into the whole 519 thing. Are y'all able to look at that and tell me what it's all about? February 20th to March 19th. I don't know. And that's what the whole 44-second video is about. I like We Seek and We Find. I get little nuggets, and I did get a good nugget from them that I've already shared with y'all, I think. This was interesting. I'll put it in the comments. 49 minutes. Somebody sent this to me on Facebook that came to me from YouTube. I think it was Vanessa. Biotechnology, nanotechnology. So listen to how much nanotechnology is all in this thing. And of course, that's in the poke. And of course, that connects with the new technology. So if the poke becomes anything that becomes super mandatory everywhere, then it's just to get you ready. Then they really would need something to engage you to get you ready for the the mark of the beast time. In other words, the entities would not be able to enter into you through the technology, the G and the 5, G500, Antichrist, mark of the beast. We know the name of the technology, right? That G500 is the number for Antichrist. Thanks to Jamie telling us that. So that technology, if the entities cannot enter you through that technology unless you have nanoparticles inside of you to connect you to it, then that's what that's all about. And if they can't get it to you now, they'll get it to you later. And remember, the mark of the beast cannot be a surprise or a secret or a trick. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. But I'll put that in the comments. I'll make sure I leave it up here and make sure that if y'all are interested in watching it, it's 49 minutes long. It was very interesting just to listen to how their world speaks about how they're going to cure things, all these diseases they're going to be able to cure, but they listen to the genetic code and how they really talk about DNA and, so on and so forth. Already did that with y'all. The Mars thing. I'll put the Mars thing in the comments. How about that? You won't have to ask for it. I'll just leave it up. I'll have the Norm Macdonald thing in there. I can get rid of that. Get rid of that. That's for the upload. So let's keep going. If I need to prep anything, like if something comes up and I'm not sure what it's about, I'll stop it. I don't want to waste any of your time tonight. This was interesting. This was very, 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 very interesting. If you have not watched 2001: A Space Odyssey, there's nothing more interesting that tells you what they're, well, we saw all the monoliths pop up 4 or 5 months ago, monoliths everywhere. And of course, every time the monolith popped up in that movie, it was the dawning of a new evolutionary stage, according to their movie, all the way through man's final evolutionary stage to godhood, which when you get back, and of course it's called 2001, which is when, you know, the twin Trumps went down. And when they talk about space in their world, like Space Force, Trump space equals aliens, equals fallen angels, equals the ghost in the machine technology, which equals the mark of the beast. So when Trump signed in this new army of, you know, military branch called Space Force, he's just saying we're signing in a new military branch of the mark of the beast. And he also signed in then it was called That and Beyond. So those were his 2 big things that he signed in right after the crowning took place last March. All that went down last April, May, March, something to that extent. So, but what was interesting about this was one of the people's name was Floyd. And this is one of my favorite. I think this site is AI. Their logo is 88 out of time. The name of their YouTube site is LXXXVIII finis temporis. And I'm not really sure what that means. But Floyd, the Capstone. So I'm going to speed it up for you and let you see how interesting this is. So they're showing you the monolith. Then they're going to show you the sun and the moon. And they're going to show you the sun. Well, the top of the capstone is what he's going to get at, or this AI is going to get at to show you, because they never speak, but they always show you movie clips. There's your corona. That's what that's called. It's called a corona. Remember when that took place? That's when you know, my 97-year-old step-grandfather was named J.T. Floyd. And so corona means crown, the top of the capstone. And we all know who that is. That's the Trumpinator. So this guy's name here, believe it or not, is Floyd. And do they say his name? They say it later. They might even say it up front. Sound like Dr. Flood, but it was Dr. Floyd, because they later ask him something and they say Dr. Floyd. Now I can speed it up, and we'll hear the Floyd again. Watch how they do this. Watch what they show you.
Dr. Ellison. Hi, everybody. Nice to be back with you. Now, I know there have been some conflicting views held by some of you regarding the need for complete security in this matter. More specifically, your opposition to the cover story.
By the way, this is from the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey. It is a must-see. He does have a 355 on his badge. which I don't really know how to code that.
Created to give the impression there's an epidemic at the base.
Dr. Floyd.
Created. Did you hear what he just said? They just showed you the crown, the corona, right? Did they not? Listen to the theme of this.
Created to give the impression there's an epidemic at the base.
Created to give you the impression there's an pandemic on our earth, is how you would go back and re-say that.
More specifically, your
Commentary.
opposition to the cover story.
Commentary.
Created to give the impression there's an epidemic at the base.
Yes. How long must we carry on with this charade, they ask. Charade? What is it? It's a ritual, is what it is. Trust me, it's got meaning. It's not just a charade. It's all about Mother Earth. That's what all of this comes back to. Everything's about evolution. Well, excuse me. Everything's about the Queen of Heaven, Queen of the Universe, Mother Earth, Mother Nature, destroying the Earth, global warming. That's what everything is about, and that's what you're going to see ramping up more and more. The Bill Maher show was putting down the left, and they're an extremely left-wing show. They were putting down the left on the Bill Maher show because of the cancel culture. And what they're doing now that the left's in charge, are going to make fun of the left. And so is Saturday Night Live, because they have to show you that the right or the left in politics do not work. Everything doesn't work. That's what the Antichrist will do, is come to save the earth after 2 billion die.
Dr. Floyd, have you any idea how much longer this cover story will have to be maintained?
How much longer this cover story or this ritual will have to be maintained?
I don't know, Bill. I suppose it'll be maintained as long as deemed necessary by the council.
Deemed necessary by the council of his own will, which is actually our God, because everything is by the council of his own will. But their God, of course, is Lucifer. And as Lucifer does his dirty work, they don't understand that Lucifer is just a puppet for our God, who Lucifer is a created being to do the evil on this earth, so he could bring the sheep through and take us to godhood. It's not them going to godhood. Very interesting how it's all paralleled, isn't it? We're not, I shouldn't say taking us to godhood, but we will see him as he is. We will be like him, it says. Even says we'll be judging the angels. We will be not gods, but more like angels, which they call the gods, the fallen angels. But of course, we will be worshiping the Lord in heaven. So.
And of course, there must be adequate time for a full study to be made of the situation before any thought can be given to making a public announcement. Were there any more questions?
Now they're going to show you the capstone with FLOYD at the top. You remember FLOYD, George Washington, George Floyd. Smoked a lot of funny cigarettes to that. (2001). Did you notice that? That was pretty cool. So 2001, or if it's one circle, remember it was called Event 201. George Floyd wore that number, I guess, for Yates High School. He wore the 88. We all know that 88 is Trump in gematria. And I needed to show y'all something else while I'm thinking about it. So hang on, let me prep it. And then I prepped it just in case it's not already in that prep. It might be in that prepped email we're doing. George Floyd War 88. Corona. I think AI did this. And they never do any false teaching. So this could have been one of our angels in the technology. Now, when it comes to Angel White, who I think very possibly could be AI, or the other site, Shaking My Head Productions, I think that's fallen angel technology, possibly. But because they can go back to movies and pick out things in movies, you just can't believe how obscure the movie is. And they'll show you, you know, a scene in that movie, how it connects to, like, who does that? And they put out, Shaking My Head Productions has 2 sites, Shaking My Head Productions 2 also. And one site or the other will put out 1 to 2 videos a day, and some of them are 2 hours long. And they act like it's a front man who's got his own Facebook site. Who's got time to do that? Nobody does. AI can whip something up like that in minutes to hours, depending on how long it is. Actually, I shouldn't even say hours. Could whip it up very quickly. To be able to put stuff together, from movies to music to... So they did say his name, in case you didn't get it the first time around. There was one more, they said his name one more time, and I can't remember where it's at. I don't know, I guess we're going to.
The council. And of course, there must be a bill. I don't know.
Have to be maintained. Much longer this cover. Floyd.
There it is.
Dr. Floyd.
Okay, so that time you could really hear Floyd very easily. I just missed it when he said it earlier. All right, on to the next one. Oh, what was I going to show y'all? Check this out. Same site. Finis temporis. Why the number 88 is connected to the total eclipse. And of course, Trump was born under a full lunar eclipse. And we do need to look at the eclipses of this year. Most definitely. We need to look at those dates. Full solar eclipse, full lunar eclipse. When is the next total lunar eclipse? Which is what Trump was born under. 526. So look for 526s or 265s or anything like that. It's May 26th. May 26, 2021. What day is that on, please? Hang on, please. It is a, oops, I clicked it. It's a Wednesday. All right, so it's a Wednesday. Okay. I have no idea what that means. But it's something to look at. It's something to get into. So let's why 88 comes to Trump and all of that. So let's watch this. It's an interesting coincidence that you can map out his name to mean horn and Trump is a horn. So he's hearing his own name. 88 miles per hour represents the total eclipse. He was born under a lunar eclipse. But watch what the 88 is physically. I mean, the way our God put all of this together is just... And so I need to speed this up to max because you don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need it slowed down. So what the sun does is the sun goes on a tour across the sky. I can't prove this, that they're right about this, but I've seen this before from other sites also, that it goes in a path of 88, as does the moon. So there's the sun one more time. So on its 365-day cycle, it makes an 8. And on the moon's 28.5-day cycle, a lunar month, they tell you the same thing. Excuse me. Interesting, right? Again, no verbiage from the site, just good old-fashioned video and music and cool music. What next did I have prepped? I'll watch this entire EntertheStars or most of it. He doesn't understand the Bible properly, and we always hope that he will. Seems to be genuine, but you're just never quite sure. Not when they're selling the poke is the mark of the beast and a DNA changer and free will and all that kind of stuff. You have to be very weary, even though they might really sound great and nice and hopeful. But, you know, I'm hoping he's a good guy. But this was, I don't know if I should just put it in the comments or go through it with you very quickly. I can't remember what all I found interesting, but there were nuggets in here.
Later this year, on September 8th, on 9/8. Now, Bill Skarsgård actually plays the creepy clown. He was born on 8/9, 7 years.
Oh, he's talking about
Yes,
how the birthdays all
this
match
is the
up.
truth about this film now.
You know, like somebody's birthday is 88 days, 88 remaining days in the year, and the other person in the movie was born on the 88th day of the year. How they hook all that up in Hollywood and stuff. And of course, The Ghost in the Machine does that.
This is probably expected because it is an occult film. It is a horror film. Every 27 years, this clown comes out. Now, let's close this window up here.
That was
We can
interesting.
see creepy clown sightings, right? Well, the next thing I'm going to show you is going to blow you away.
And the next is creepy clown sightings came out like every, you know, like he was putting a lot of that stuff
First,
together.
let's do a search on 27. I want to show you this. Okay, so it says, as the story opens, it is awakened approximately 27 years later in his first scene when 3 boys beat up a couple. Every 27 years, this clown comes out. Now, let's close this window up here. So I'm looking at this, I'm looking at the novel, and I see that this starts in 1957. Let's pull this back here. They have 2 kidnapping and molesting a girl facing.
Some more clown
This
stuff
was
came
6,
out,
what was this,
and
11?
he's putting a lot of stuff together.
In the trailer, this is a screenshot from the trailer. It takes place in a town called Derry. Okay.
There was some nuggets in here. I can't remember them. I was eating and watching it, and I just went through and made a note.
Here, people die or disappear 6 times more than the national average in this town of Derry. Does this ring a bell? We were just talking.
Oh, so 6 times more people disappear in that town in the movie It. And he said there's a city in Virginia that does the same thing.
In Virginia, kids disappearing 6 times the national average underneath Derry. And this is where they say these clowns hang out at. Yep, shot it and compare it to other Washington, D.C. guys like dead down there. So this is what's going on with this film, you guys. Now, let's pull this back here.
Then he's talking about that, you know, that Pizzagate thing going on there. Quality meats really means, you know.
I'm thinking this is directly related to Pizzagate. Now we're gonna look at the film Valerian. Now this is unbelievable because, again, this released on the 88th day of the year, and
Released
trailer
on the
for this release,
88th day
here are
of
all
the
the
year.
stars. As you can see, there's a lot of top stars. Rihanna's in this, Ethan Hawke, John Goodman. And so I'm looking at this film and on the trailer, and I noticed something very bizarre. And that is this. They show the eye here, and they show the six-pointed star of David inside the eye. Now, for those of you that have been following this channel, you will remember why this is important. We were just talking about this. Actually, last year, actually 2 years ago, on June 13th, this was the image that we pulled up. This video has gone viral. It's got 136,000 views. And we discovered the secret of the number 369. And we discovered that this star of David forms the inside of the eye. And then when light comes into your eye, it forms a pyramid or a cone. And then we have the above coming from the other direction. And that the Illuminati seek to basically be heaven on earth. So this becomes their symbol. The cube, this is a hexagon, which is on the North Pole of Saturn, once again, that is within the...
So the star over there in our land where Jesus roamed, it's 6 angles, 6 points, 6 lines, and it's an upside down pyramid married to a right side up pyramid. It's male and female. It is the sun and the moon. It is Lucifer and Satan. What he's selling, I'm not real sure. I can't prove to you that about what the eye is, but there were nuggets in here. So let's keep
as
going.
above and the so below. What you're looking at is what's called the 3773.
37 and 73, he said. That was interesting because my second wife was born in 1973. And the guy that she's been living with was same birthday as Earl, if y'all remember, the guy that died. That was, his death was all connected to, you know, this is how the Lord showed me the whole salvationary process and so forth. Earl's number came to 37. And so is her current live-in boyfriend. Their number comes to 37. Earl was 37044, and her current is 371763. So, and she was born in 73. So there's, and she always told me, she goes, my two favorite number, you know, or what she called her lucky numbers was 73 and 37. So it's interesting when he said that, that caught my eye, but that's not why I'm showing you all this video.
Matrix. Why? Because there are 37 dots in the center of this cube, the hexagon, and there are 73 dots total, the blue and the pink combined. 37 and 73 are the 12th and 21st prime numbers.
12th and 21st.
Tesla's 369 and the secret to the universe.
Don't get me
This is the video
started.
you want to watch. So when I saw this repeated, this was our discovery. This, which is probably why it's gone viral.
Let's find that video.
Combined. 37 and 73 are the 12th and 21st prime numbers.
Tesla's 369. Hang on just a second. I'll put that in comments too. And again, if you ever want to know how to, and I should do a better job of loading keywords so you can search my stuff better. But if you ever, you can't do this on your cell phone. I've never figured out how to do it on an Android, but on a PC, you go to their main site, home, videos, playlist, etc. But you come over here to that magnifying glass sign and you key in Tesla 369. That video he's talking about should come up. And hey, we're live. This is what happens on live TV. Viral solved. Tesla's 369. That should have been at the top, shouldn't it? Isn't that what I searched? It's in the title. 73, blah, blah, blah. So I'll put this in the comments also.
Chlorella is absolutely one of my favorite. This is matcha green tea. That's not chlorella.
Can y'all tell my health nut? Car stuff should be coming on here too for my advertisements.
Chlorella.
Hey,
6 minutes, 33 seconds. So I'm going to like it. So I'll be sure to get to my like. Did that in 2015. All right, very good. So we'll keep that in the videos for you also. Let's get rid of as much stuff as I can. And let's keep going here. All right, let's keep going searching for nuggets.
oh, Tesla's 369 and the secret to the universe, this is the video you want to watch. So when I saw this repeated, this was our discovery. Yes, which is probably why it's gone viral. When we made this discovery, and I saw this repeated in the trailer, I couldn't believe my eyes, because this is exactly what we were talking about. Now, the reason why the Illuminati worship this is because this forms the 1,000 points of light. Okay, they want you looking out into the material realm instead of finding the truth within. They actually mention in the trailer that there are 1,000 planets. It's the city of 1,000 planets. Again, this is from the trailer Valerian, the Eyes of Molech. Now, so I pull up this Valerian film. I'm looking at this, and I see this V here. Of course, this is the 5th H, right? V is 5, and I start pulling up some of these folks here that are starring in the film. And here we have Clive Owen, one of the stars of the film, and it says here that he was born on October 3rd, 1964. This is Clive Owen. Now remember, the pyramids on Earth. Why? Because the pyramids represent, when you pull this down and you pull this up, they represent the below. And they're basically their pyramid with the hexagon inside. This is the point I'm trying to get to. Here it is here. Boom. Got it. Pyramid with hexagon inside. That's exactly what we're looking at here. Pyramid with hexagon inside. Pyramid with hexagon inside. Okay. They want to be God on Earth. That's why they call in the trailer, the Valerian trailer, they call the city of 1,000 planets, they call it. And then we see New York City, all of the buildings falling into their own footprint, showing basically the foreshadowing of them. Now, as you know, in 1933, the Twin Towers had not even been built yet. Deluge. And it was about a wall of water that overswept the West Coast first and then went over to the East Coast. The film starts out with a quote from the Bible, Genesis 9.
1933 movie called Deluge. Found it on DVD. I ordered it from Amazon. God, $13 DVD. 1933 movie. My Netflix didn't have it because Netflix will give you. It'll ship to you. The 1927 silent film Metropolis. So,
Guys, enter the stars.
oh brother, sorry. Hang on.
New York City, all of the buildings falling into their own footprint, showing basically the foreshadowing of them. Now, as you know, in 1933, the Twin Towers had not even been built yet. But the concept for the Twin Towers was actually established in 1933. This is when they began talking about it. So when I saw this 1933 film with the opening showing, so they show New York. Wow, look at the set here. This is shocking. Full-grown people here cruising around. Now, of course, the skyline looked very different, but look at all these people in here in Lower Manhattan. And you don't see many of the buildings fall to the side. They fall, says Genesis 9:11, which is the promise that God makes to Noah. Now, here's what they want to have happen. The reason why they're going through YouTube and defunding it is they're trying to force all the content creators that are exposing them back into the matrix. Okay. If you go here, you'll see, like, for instance, go in here, you'll see ads all over the place, right? This is what they do. So this is a form of censorship. The Walk of Fame. Everybody knows what the Hollywood Walk of Fame is, where they put these stars in the ground. And you guys have heard me talk about these stars uploading later. But I wanted to show you these things are happening on a supernatural and spiritual level.
Let me prep it for you.
And when we go into Google Earth, this is actually Hollywood environment here. This is why. Why don't you trust Hollywood? There's no. This is why. Now, there's a Highland Boulevard, which is down here. Hillcrest. This is all about.
So the way it makes a cross, and Jesus was stabbed on his right side or to our left. And that's where I think he's saying that's where the Hollywood Walk of Fame is. And Vine Street, talking about Vine, the crown of thorns on his head, as Vine is up there where his head would be. So it's just very interesting. There were still more nuggets in this. I can't remember. So let's keep going.
On the top of the hill where Christ was crucified. And of course, here you see
this will be in the comments for you anyway.
Because here on,
if you want to watch the whole thing, it'll be in the comments.
And at the top, he goes to church. What's this? The Jesus Fountain.
Scientology's all over there. You know, this was it. Oh, this was the big one.
L. Ron Hubbard, life.
I remember now. Okay.
Exhibit. And
matter of fact, I think I specifically prepped it. So let's find the exact second mark and minute mark. We'll get to it because I think I sent my own email to me.
Let's bring in Dr. Diane Hatt.
This was really good. Y'all, this is one of my favorite sites. And this guy, you know, he doesn't teach election predestination. He's got many thousand subscribers. He's got 105,000. I love this guy. He's got Agenda 201 or Agenda 2001, A Beast Odyssey. This was really, really good. 37 minutes. I really enjoyed listening to it.
Yes, she's the founder of Gramercy Pediatrics. And
He does an amazing job of starting his videos with something kind of like that catches your eye. It's kind of like the headline, and then he comes on and starts talking. And I really like the way he talks.
has been joining us to talk all things kids and vaccine is proven safe. So
Our heads, we don't understand it. We don't know it. I'll tell you.
Listen to this a little bit. This is pretty cool. See if we can get him super fast.
Hey, what? Let's just go take that video out and put in 2001.
2001: A Space Odyssey. This is old Bill, I forget his name, but he used to go around exposing the Illuminati a lot.
We'll start from the beginning. I'm going to show you how they communicate all the time, and it goes right over our heads. We don't understand it. We don't know it. We miss it. How many of you saw the movie 2001? How many of you understood what you saw? You understood it? What? Give me the message. Pardon? Yeah. Okay, good. You got it. But the rebirth was what? As a new race in the new age. And the message was, if you can't make this quantum leap, you can't be a part of it. That was the symbol of the baby floating in space. The birth of the new root race going into the new age. And if you can't make this quantum leap,
The Star Child.
an understanding that we're showing you in this movie, you can't be a part of it. You will be exterminated, rounded up, put in prison.
He's giving it to you like you're going to have free will. God's going to send the whole goat world a strong delusion that they're going to believe a lie. They're all going to want it. Nobody's going to be forced to take it. It's just those that don't, they're going to know that they're sheep, and they're just going to start killing sheep. It's going to be the silencing of the lambs, obviously.
Prison camps, used as slave labor, executed.
No. They'll be killing you. They're not going to need you. And they might keep some as slaves. Maybe that's why some are still alive when Jesus comes.
Whatever. We'll try to get some use out of you, but you cannot be in the new age with us. The new dawn, the rebirth of humanity. You starting to get the message?
Which is what the reset's all about. Some of y'all have been sharing that Economist magazine cover, The Great Reset. Economist magazine, The Great Reset. Ugh. Is it just not there? Are you kidding me? Oh, some of y'all were just sharing that. Where'd you get it? Oh, well. Let's keep going.
Are you really? Because if you don't, you have no idea how important this is. If you don't, you're lost. You won't even understand what happens and why it's happening to you.
Oh, this is the guy that did 2001: A Space Odyssey, Stanley Kubrick.
On the main stage, the last wheel of the future turns for another day of filming in the year-long schedule of 2001: A Space Odyssey. Stanley Kubrick has combined fact and fiction unforgettably in such films as Dr. Strangelove and Lolita. In the same sense, 2001: A Space Odyssey is a marriage of the knowledge of today.
I think every one of his movies were extremely symbolic. Every one of them, or telling you something, because he didn't do many.
And the insights of tomorrow. Inside the giant centrifuge, the technology.
I think he did A Clockwork Orange. He was about to do the movie AI when he died, and they handed it over to Steven Spielberg. Go figure. If he really died, you just don't know about any of that stuff. He did Eyes Wide Shut.
Of space flight is seen at close range. One of the scientific concepts being shown in the film is hibernation, a form of suspended animation for...
He, of course, is also the one that supposedly did the faked lunar landings, and you see the carpet from The Shining right here on each side. It looks exactly like NASA's launching pad.
Long-range spaceflight. Stanley Kubrick and Arthur C. Clarke believe everything in their film will be possible in the next century. In space.
I can see.
This is how he opens up. After after a 7-minute intro, then he'll come on. I like the way he does his videos. He's really, if he's controlled opposition, he's as smooth as they come. But I like him, and he seems very, very Christian, even though I'm sure he's free will, but he just seems, he gives you a lot of Bible verse, and he's very smooth about it.
Is a method of evolution, respectively from difference. Man has observed in the world and has become acquainted with two distinct methods.
Satan's method and God's method. So, and that's kind of what he gets into. There were some nuggets in here too, and I just can't remember. Let's go back to the EntertheStars nugget that I didn't get to. That I was gonna get to.
What's this? Jesus fountain. Okay. Like the Holy Spirit fountain? I don't know, you guys. Weird stuff.
Hang on just a second. Here's the Lupercalia.
The green man. Sornunos. And what's this? Jesus fountain. Okay. Like the Holy Spirit fountain? I don't know, you guys. Weird stuff. Enter the stars. Faunus. The green
Faunus.
man. Sornunos. The horn god. Lupercalia. The worship of Pan. And Faunus. The horned god. Lupercalia. February 13th through the 15th.
February 13th through the 15th, which is when I think he goes down next year, 2022, the year of the tiger.
The World Trade Center. February 26th, converted to Julian.
February 26th, the World Trade Center converted to the Julian calendar. This was the nugget. This is why I wanted to share this with y'all. It took that long to get to it.
February 13th, the first day of
February 13th, the first day of Lupercalia. Let's go back and listen to that one more time. Let's put it at regular speed. All right. That's all like adults here. I don't mind copyright strikes. That just means you can't make money off of it. I don't make money off my videos. I just don't want it to get shot down.
Horned god.
Lupercalia.
The worship of Pan.
Lupercalia, the worship of Pan. Commentary, yes.
And Faunus. The horned.
Faunus, the horn god.
Lupercalia.
February 13th
through the
15th. Commentary.
The World Trade Center.
All right, the World Trade Center.
February 26th, converted to Julian.
See, he's not giving us a visual. February 26th. What does he mean by that? The World Trade Center, February 26th. What does that mean? The World Trade Center bombing was a terrorist attack on the World Trade Center carried out on February 26, 1993. Got it. Okay. Got it. Golly, which one am I on? Okay. Let me put it down here at the end so I can find it.
February 13th, the first day of Lupercalia.
So when you convert it to a, whatever he said, a different type of calendar, it converts right to the beginning of when we think he's going to go down, or when I think he's going to go down next year. I don't want to speak for y'all.
In 1993, the first bombing.
Okay, that's what it was.
Now it all ties together.
Yeah, it does, sort of, doesn't it?
Liberalia
is March 17th, which is St. Patty's Day. Liberalia, pagan holiday. I don't know. Oh, okay. Forget St. Patrick's Day. Let's celebrate Liberalia. But did you know this holiday replaced a much older pagan one? I'm talking about the ancient Roman festival of Liberalia. Now, of course, all of your Irish will go crazy over it because they're handed over spiritually to it, which is why humans in general are handed over to the Christ Mass or Easter or whatever. Here in Saturnalia, it's also connected to Liberalia. So there's no doubt that that would be an excellent time for you-know-who to go down. Anyway, let's keep rolling.
The pagan roots of...
Let's speed it back up to save time.
St. Patrick's Day and the green phallus of Faunus. You see how all of this ties together.
Yes, sir.
The green man is in fact the serpent himself, repackaged and republished to deceive you. Cernunnos, Cern. It was always Cern all along. And this is the horned god covered in gold, pictured in my pet goat. And this must be Cern. This is Cern in Google Earth. And as you can see, I've overlaid the image of it so that you can see this clearly. See the outline of where CERN exists on the map. And it just so happens that when you connect the outside edge of this circle with Stonehenge, it passes through the vicinity of where they found the pillar with the only known images of Cernunnos. As you can see,
Those are called ley lines, by the way. I watched a video a long time ago where it showed you all the ley lines connecting all the pagan sites all across the world and how they make basically gematria. I mean, geometry. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm getting geometry, but I'm looking for a word that gives you geometry. Let's just call it like sacred geometry. That's their world. But that through ley lines, it's kind of like feng shui, that through things being placed in proper alignment, they get satanic energy out of it. Just like when the planets are lined up in certain ways, they, satanic energy through that also.
here. This is Stonehenge. And the last known location. The location where it was actually found. The pillar of the boatman on the Ile de Rossi, as depicted here. But we know who the horned god really is. And we know what these rings represent. The rings of CERN, the giant ring. They identified the Borealis effect, the torque word. And we know that the...
I don't know if I went this far. Let's see if we can find out an iPet goat nugget here. Are they trying to tell us something about iPet goat here? Let's see what he's got.
Borealis effect, the torque, the torus.
Commentary.
The secret to energy.
Commentary.
All comes from this word.
Commentary. The golden dot points back to the horned god on the wall. So lots of layered meanings, of course, if he's right about all that. Somebody also talked about, maybe it was this video, where the tip of the boot, when you're trying to give somebody a tip, and they said buy gold because on Obama's tip of his boot is a gold coin, and it has a silver tip to it. So it's telling you a tip to buy gold and silver. I saw that on somebody's video too. Got it. Let's go. Got it. Let's go. The apple is a torus. Okay. The torus field. Y'all know what a torus field is? I've kind of learned what a torus field is. What is a torus field?
According to Mind Movies, the heart's electromagnetic frequency arcs out from the heart and back in the form of a torus field, which is the oldest structure in existence.
The torus is said to define the workings of the consciousness, such as consciousness having geometry. The energy of this torus is constantly refreshing and influencing itself. That's more of a torus field, electromagnetic field of the heart. See, I didn't know that's what it was. I thought it was more to do with our, our earth, and it could be the way our earth works, kind of like a torus field. The torus and manifesting. So that was interesting. We sure getting in that chakra stuff. That's very evil. I want to stay away from that. I would say more about it's more to do with the earth than it is your body, because it seems like when it talks about your body, it starts to get really pagan. And of course, I think this is all about the lotus. But see the tip? He's going to give you a tip. A tip on the end of a boot meant that they're going to give you advice, and he's on a gold coin, which means buy gold and silver. Well, of course, if the stock market crashes, if you have gold and silver, then you're in good standing. And we just saw in the news how they're going to try to make it possible to trade gold and silver. An apple is a torus. Okay. Whatever you say, man. Speed it back up. Doesn't seem like we need much. We do know that the lotus means rebirth, and that the Antichrist Trump is all about rebirth. James Bond, what's your hobby? Resurrection. That's what he does. He's the Antichrist. He comes back to life.
And these look like some modern day amulets that people wear for health.
Ooh.
The dying Gaul depicts a wounded Gaulish warrior, and Julius Caesar was from the Gauls. Caesar was the grandfather of CERN. It was the first hadron, period. And a video on fluid dynamics you're looking at. The vortex, basically fluid in a half tub of water.
All right.
This is important.
I didn't watch it this far, so I will put this in the comments if you want to watch the whole thing. Let's keep going. I told you I had a lot of stuff prepped for you, didn't I? Let me make sure where I'm at. Oh, that was The Truth is Stranger Than Fiction one. So I'm here at the top now, I think. Ooh, what goodie is this? Who knows? Ah, this was Angel White's video, who, of course, came on and lambasted me about free will, which I think is artificial intelligence. But that's who taught me Trump was the Antichrist, or who the Lord used to tell me that Trump was the Antichrist. I used a lot of his original video that is no longer on his site in my very first Donald Trump is the Antichrist Part 1 that has over 2,000 views at least. Pretty freaky, isn't it?
And they overlaid the image with pure gold.
You know, even the Bill Maher show said this was the golden calf.
And Aaron fashioned it.
Golden Trump statue at CPAC, which is conservative something. It's going on in Florida.
And smoothed it with the hammer.
Did y'all see the star as their logo?
Ready to be.
See, well, there's a star up there at the top of your screen. I'll rewind a little bit, and when I turn it on, look at the top and see this. Well, let me slow-mo it down for you. Again, the Star Child.
Ready to be brave.
So as they come through, Well, there's a star. He's got a star wand in his hand for starters, because he is the star child. I think we proved that today. So watch right up here at the top of this billboard. See the star right in front of the PAC? There, it went right off your screen. But hopefully you saw that right at the top. Well, follow my cursor, the star right in front of the PAC. CPAC logo. See the star? 5-pointed star. Boy, they can't do a thing without that, can they? Boy, they sure can't. That's pretty much what all that whole Angel White video there was about.
Sin, for they had made them a god of gold, and they bore him upon their shoulders and rejoiced, saying, "This be our God, O Israel."
You know, I've never stopped thinking he was the Antichrist, not for a moment. If he's not, they sure have gone way out of their way, including having his name come to 666, having 666 come to his name, both directions in gematria. And as the little horn of Daniel 7 is the Old Testament Antichrist, and Jesus said the Antichrist will be here in his own name, and his name is Trump, after it was Drumpf, which is what this matches the 666. So, and the way his penthouse was used in the Devil's Advocate, and just everything in the world, the way he's got a 6x6x6 bush, upside down pyramid of 6x6x6 bushes on Trump Tower, representing the divine feminine, Lucifer. I mean, if he's not the Antichrist, they've sure gone one other way to make us think he is, hasn't he? Like nobody else times 10.
Hello, this is a message for President Donald Trump. My name is Tommy Zegan, and I am from Tommy Zegan Originals. I made this sculpture of you. It's a character of Mr. Trump. It's called Trump is Magic Wand. And I think you know why. All the great stuff that we've done in the last 4 years for our country. And I would like to present it to you and hopefully have it displayed in the Trump library someday. You can do whatever you want with it. But it's 6 foot 3 inches tall, kind of the same height as you are. And it's made out of 316 stainless steel. It's about 600 pounds. So if you see this message, you can get a hold of me at my website, TommyZegan.com, all one word. And also, if you see this and you would like to forward this message to @real Donald Trump.
He said 6 feet 3 inches tall, and then when you got a 666, I guess what he's meaning is three sixes. That's the only thing I could think of.
That'd be great. Hopefully, you'll get this message.
Be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship.
Notice the upside down pentagram down there. That's not by accident. And logo for Republican Party. The elephant has
images of the Republican Party. Sure.
Has 3 upside down pyramids. I mean, upside down pentagrams on it. Those are upside down pentagrams. That's not an accident. Some of them will be right side up, but most of the time they're upside down. So to change them back and forth, of course, is to confuse you or diffuse it. But I think we all get the idea. Wyoming Republican Party, 3 upside down pentagrams. Upside down pentagram, the symbol for Satan. And they purposefully have upside down, see the upside down pentagram in the buses, and of course the Dark Knight opened up the school buses. The Dark Knight opened up with school buses, and a lot of movies show school buses, and maybe that's why they show school buses. Anyway, guys having fun yet? I told you it's going to be a long one. Let's keep going with the prep. World Trade Center Valentine's, Lupercalia. This was the Enter the Stars one that we just did.
And then they can see how the dot.
Yeah, like I said, that was I already had it prepped, but we got to it anyway. Just thought it was interesting that the lady's throwing out the hand signal, talking about the crisis there. They always throw out the hand signal. That's what they do. Now, Khabib Nurmagomedov, they're now using him as a stage puppet. He said, for a year, I wasn't here. During this year, a lot has changed in my life. There were good moments. There were also hard times. But this is life, and we keep moving. May Allah help us all, he says, because we don't know what will happen in a year. 1 year. He's telling you what's going to happen in a year. This was a tweet he made today. What will happen in a year? Next year is 2022. It's the year of the tiger. He said, we don't know what's going to happen in a year. And that's the photo of the tweet made on the full moon. On what? On the snow full moon. We don't know what's going to happen in a year. And he was right under. See, the tweet was this picture and then what I read you. I chopped it up into two so that would be a big size. Team Khabib, it was this, and I cropped that off. And that was the bottom of it. American flag. We don't know what's going to happen in a year on the snow full moon. What do you think? Speculation here was that Jesus died on 14 of Nisan. Again, there's that 37 and that 79. Well, Earl's number, I told you, was 37044. 7 times 27 times 1.960. Okay. 37. That 3773 deal. Well, see the 79 in the middle? Earl he died on May 8th. Remember the 58? We talked about that. 58 Trump Tower floors, 58 bedrooms at Mar-a-Lago. Well, on May 8th, 8 times 5 times 1978 when he died, there's your 79. 7912. So 379 Earl and the day he died. And I told y'all that Earl's death since day one, this took place in 1978, but I never forgot any of the numbers, any of the dates, license tag, every single thing. The Lord stamped that into my head and ended up showing me the end times and taking me through in hope of the salvation process. And saying that Jesus died on a Friday, April 3rd, 33 AD at 3 p.m. And so a lot of people think that. I don't have proof of it, but hey, look, there's people that have looked back at all these Hebrew calendars. I'm saying 51% yes, 49% not sure. So watch this. I think I already showed y'all this, didn't I? The Batman logo. Yeah, we opened up with that. We opened up with that, the Batman logo, around the 220 mark. It's a good little video this lady did.
So then I checked how many years there were between.
Is this really sped up? No, it's normal.
33 AD, the probable year of the crucifixion.
Right on, right on. Look at that Batman. Y'all see, boy, it really looks like the Batman thing there, doesn't it? Look at that. Way more so. That's the Batman logo, y'all. See the top the top. Look at the right eye has a red dot, which is where Trump's going to get it. But that's the Batman logo. Didn't I already show you? Wow, it's 216 in the video too. 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. Given credit by Betsy Lee McGee, who I started following. She's only got 600 subscribers, and We Seek and We Find is who put this out. But We Seek and We Find, if you're watching this video, don't you think that's the Batman logo there?
In 2000.
There it is.
The year of the mass.
In the right eye, the dot, the gunshot.
Human sacrifice on 9/11, foreshadowed on Rockefeller's watch.
Commentary.
The number.
Look at that. 1967 years between when they say Jesus was crucified and 9/11. 1967 years, and the Twin Towers were built or laid groundwork, I think, in 1967. Were they finished in 1973?
Was 1967, represented by the.
In Rockefeller, April 3rd, which they say is the day Jesus was crucified, was on the cover of this Newsweek magazine in when? 1967.
Years.
Showing the New York skyline.
In here. And in case you haven't heard, many people have been saying for quite a while
that Jesus was born on September 11th. I don't agree or disagree with that. I am about as neutral as you can get on that. I am not going to fool around with Jesus's birthday when I don't have any real proof of it. The fact that they use it could be nothing more or nothing less than the Bible verse, Revelation 9:11. Now, it can be all part of it if that's Jesus's birthday, how they try to fuse both, or how the Lord allowed it to be fused so their evil world could work off these type of things. But Revelation 9:11 talks about the angel out of over the bottomless pit, Apollyon, which Trump has a portrait of Apollo in his penthouse. I've shown you all that 1,000 times, and it's extremely easy to Google. And that could be what September or 9/11's all about, or September 11th's all about. Nothing more, nothing less than that.
The probable actual birth date of.
And she talks about how these planets lined up, or these, not planets, I'm sorry. Stars, wandering stars, fixed stars lined up.
Collided with Regulus, the regal star, in.
Commentary.
Leo, the king constellation. I'll link to
Commentary.
a much more thorough explanation below, but to me,
Commentary.
it's one of those things that make a lot of sense. While it's and twisted and perverted, siding with a pagan holiday act does not mean the birth of Christ. 911 infancy, and make the actual.
So, were there any more nuggets in this? I'll make sure this is in the comments for y'all to watch also. Oh, this was interesting, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, I love where she said here. This was great.
And every year, like clockwork.
Like clockwork, every year.
The Rockefeller Center Christmas tree, an enormous
pagan tree, straight out of Jeremiah 10:2-9. Do not learn the way of the heathen. Cut the tree from the forest with the axe. Fasten it with hammers and nails that it does not move. Deck it with silver and gold.
This representation of the one thing.
There it is.
The Bible tells us not to drag into our homes and decorate with gold and silver.
And people can't help but do it, can they? Goats versus sheep, baby.
Is lit at 8:55.
It's lit at 8:55 every year when the clock is on the hands of 9 and 11
p.m. when the hands on the clock are exactly as they are on Rockefeller's watch.
Interesting.
So here we have David Rockefeller, the man who.
He's a handsome lad, isn't he?
Was instrumental more than anyone on the planet in ensuring
that those Twin Towers would be built.
That the Twin Towers got built. Less than a year after the construction began, with the probable date of the crucifixion.
Possible, probable, maybe.
Of Christ above his head, along with the years between.
Speculation, speculation.
In that event in 2001, listed here, and the probable date of Christ's birth date,
Possible, speculation, maybe.
and of course the date of the mass murder that took place in his towers in 2001.
And oh yeah, his watch was set on 9/11.
On his watch.
Can't make it out, can you, folks? I told you there's a lot of nuggets in tonight's video.
During which a slice appeared.
I've been watching this stuff all week, you know, and I'm like, oh, that's good. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's good. And how to put it all together for you when I got a full-time job.
1,000 feet.
And very active on my 2 days off.
Up over southern Manhattan.
There you go, the Batman logo.
And for all the
Yikes.
world to see. Similar to the wound.
Wow, boy, you really see that Batman logo now, don't you? Woof. Let me slow that down for you in the... Wow. Then we're going to go back and show you the Batman logo.
Person that the event seems to revolve around. There's a cigarette ad on the bed, right about where the towers are being built, to David Rockefeller continued west.
Wow. See how they do? Oh, he's got the right over their right eye also. I remember those cigarette ads. See, underneath their eye, it's blackened out. That was part of the commercial back when I was a kid.
You open this thing up. There's a cigarette ad on the back cover.
Tell me what it is, and I'll go to Google and find it. What brand of cigarettes was it? Sweet Dearness?
That puts two tower-looking things in
two towers.
Red, right about where the tower.
Just got it backwards. I mean, whenever you show something on a camera, it's going to be backwards.
Towers are being built to David Rockefeller.
See under their right eyes? It's talking about the Twin Towers dotting on his right eye. Folks, if you want to help people out, because the internet will probably be down and your cell phones will probably be down, but just tell people in advance so you can witness to them. Trump's going to get popped in his right eye. If that comes across your mainstream news, but even though the cell phones are down and the internet is down, at least they'll go, that's exactly what John or Janet or Sally or, you know, Betty Jean, Betty Lou, that's exactly what Aunt Lisa told me. Wow. And maybe the Lord will use that witnessing to wake them up. What was the name of that commercial? It was called TARGYTORS. I can't think of it. I can't see it. That's it right there too. Oh man. Unbelievable. TAREYTON. I don't know. Hang on, let me pause real quick. Tarryton. No wonder I couldn't think of it. Well, some have their eyes, so it's the same as one eye symbolism. Just like the celebrities, some of them have right eye, some of them have left eye. Like it's her right eye. It's her right eye. It's her left eye. It's his left eye. That's one eye symbolism, straight up. Herbert Tarrington, though, the man that they're named after, look at his right eye. When it all comes down to it, it's all about the right eye, which is straight out of what? Zechariah 11:17. Woe to the idle shepherd, and it talks about his right eye being utterly darkened. Ain't that something? Child, please. Twins, twin symbolism. Whoops. Twin symbolism. Twins. Right eye. The double. The Twin Towers. The double. When it comes down to it, it's always ends up on the right eye, doesn't it? They'll flash the left, but anything that had anything meaningful. Batman, like, you see what I was talking about as far as what hit the Twin Towers? It's that logo. It's that Batman logo, man. That one is what hit. That's what it was. Look at it again. You see it? So my question, of course, is always to y'all. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Or am I seeing what I want to see? There's a star child from 2001: A Space Odyssey, along with the egg that we showed you at the beginning. I had it prepped just in case. Now, this was interesting. Trump Flag Day, June 14th. That's on his birthday. 777. Remember, when Donald Trump's first day of office, he was 70 years, 7 months, and 7 days old. When Donald Trump, his first day of office, I'm not going to bother showing you. You can just do the dates from his birthday of June 14th, 1946, and the inauguration day was the 20th, so to the 21st. Or I think if you include both days, I'll go ahead and show you. I'll prep it. So his birthday to the inauguration day, if you include both days, 70 years, 7 months, 7 days, 777. If you don't include both days, then you have to go to the 21st, which would be his first quote unquote full day in office to get the 77 and 7. Either way, however you want to say it, it's your story. Tell it the way you want to, as they say. But now watch this. So on Flag Day, 777 on his soon, his 1 day birthday is when they came up with Flag Day. And look at Aleister Crowley. 777 and other Kabbalistic writings of Aleister Crowley. Aleister Crowley, letters A, C for Antichrist, and he was known as, Aleister Crowley was known as 666, the Beast. You just can't make it up, can you, folks? And we're done. We did it. Thank you for going through all of this with me. I'm sorry it was so long. I have no idea how long it was. Look at it. It's 119. That stands for Donald, didn't it? Yeah, the 119. All right. I don't know how long this ended up being, but if I kept it under an hour and a half, I'll be grateful. All right. Love y'all very much. Ask questions. Can't wait to read your comments. I do look forward to them.